You know, just last week, I could watch PLEs on Peacock. Peacock was a pretty good deal. Got the PLEs, you got the backlogs of all the previous PLEs, and you got some old episodes of SmackDown and, some Raw. And it was actually quite good. But then they announced the ESPN Plus, which was supposed to start in 2026 to watch the PLEs. But guess what? They pulled the rug from under us. And now it's 2025, and now you gotta start paying for ESPN Plus to watch the PLEs. So now, to watch major WWE programming, you have to pay $30 a month for PLEs, $10 and $15 for Netflix, and then basic cable to watch SmackDown. So it's getting quite pricey to watch wrestling, and it's becoming more expensive to watch wrestling than to watch major sports like football and basketball, etc. So the question remains is, how sustainable is this? Because if we're being honest here, the roster that they have right now are just not that good. They don't have the horsepower to keep demanding the prices for their tickets for the shows and for the content. Now, right now they're making money. I cannot deny that. But the economy is not getting better, and eventually people are going to run out of money. This simply is not sustainable. And at the same token, if WWE sees people paying for these tickets and paying for these streaming services with mediocre product, they really have no incentive. I've seen this back and forth before, especially with Netflix. When Raw moved to Netflix, I said to myself, the shows cannot possibly get better because they weren't that good to begin with. They were like average. Aside from the premiere episode on Netflix, the shows hasn't really gotten better at all. So we're paying more for Raw, and the content's been mediocre. Only when they get chastised for a bad episode, of course over several weeks, then they actually take the time to make a slightly better episode in Raw. But you see what they're doing is they're trying to gauge how much interest you're going to pay into it. No pun intended. So this shows me, unlike the Attitude Era, what made the Attitude Era so special is that everyone there, from the Booker, Vince, and the stars, wanted to go out and put on the best show possible. Those who remember watching Attitude Era, they know what I'm talking about. For those who don't know, go back and watch Raw during the Attitude Era, and the energy is simply unmatched. Now back then, social media and streaming services weren't quite in their zenith as far as earning potential, so they couldn't really capitalize. They're very good with the ratings and stuff, but if you were to take that content from back then and put in today's streaming services and social media, they'd be making a lot more money because the shows were simply much better. Right now, in my opinion, the roster is just not as stacked as it was in the Attitude Era. It's very lackluster, it's very safe. Now, currently WWE's printing money, but that's going to run out because one, the economy's not doing very well, but eventually, at the rate of these shows becoming expensive, whether it's in the venues or the streaming services, you're going to price out millions of Americans. It's just inevitable because the average minimum income for wrestling fans is really not that high. That's why SmackDown kind of suffers with getting commercials, because a lot of the commercial spots from big companies don't want to advertise on SmackDown because the average minimum income from wrestling fans wouldn't quite support Capital One or certain high-end products like luxury cars, houses, and so forth. So this tells you a lot already. So as you see by the little collage I made with AI, of course, it's all these different programs to watch, but you have to pay for this, pay for that. But again, they don't have the horsepower. So we'll see what happens next couple of years. But I know me myself, I'm probably getting priced out, and frankly, the show is really not that good. The wrestling's just not what it is, not what it used to be, I know most of you are probably used to this, but it is mediocre, and I think you're starting to see that already. So we'll see what happens, but I give this another 2 years before people stop walking away altogether, and then WWE will be forced to either lower prices or come up with better bundles. But tell me what you think in the comments below. I'll talk to you then.